Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. I dare any one of you to say welcome back. I dare one of you to be cringe and say, good to see you back, Devontae. I was gone for less than 2 weeks. Gone for less than 2 weeks. If you say that, I swear to God, your mom doesn't love you and you're gay. I promise you, you're gay and your mom doesn't love you. Don't say any of that nonsense. I was only gone for less than 2 weeks, all right? I was never gone. I was only gone. You understand? I'm only back anyways because my goddamn HDD drive. What do you call it when, like, you know, it says corrupt disk or like corrupt memory or whatever? Made like 15 CAWs and my shit got corrupted like 2 days ago. So here I am, having to fill the void of my life. All right, enough rambling on. Let's talk about the news for today. Jim Cornette is unhinged and a fucking moron. I know, right? It's Tuesday, right? No, wait, it's Wednesday. No, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I know. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. Ludwig, Kaiser, and Tiffany Stratton are no more a thing. Sorry, folks. Trying to diverse my audience. Got to get some females in here. Too many sausages. AEW numbers decrease heavily, and Bryan Alverez goes in on AEW. Also, Bryan Alverez, he can't stop. He won't stop. Some call him Diddy. Some call him me. Ava gets the smoke from Bryan Alverez as well, and she's not taking it very lightly. So our dash gonna be talked about in the video, and we gonna get on with the video. I promise you, anybody says welcome back, I promise you, I will put the fear of God in your heart. Your children will not rest when I'm around. Damn, pause. No Diddy, full Diddy. No, I'm joking, no Diddy. So like where all good things go to die, including most people's brain cells, this starts off with politics, right? Oh, the good old politics. And we all know Jim Cornette's politics, right? Dude, he's the kind of person to think left and right means wrong and right. But he ended up reposting this person who obviously leans very heavy to the left about this whole viral video going around where this guy and this lady gets their ass kicked by ICE, right? I'll show the video in a minute, but first let me read you what Jim Cornette ended up tweeting out, right? He said, and I quote, "In a country full of gun worshippers whose sole reason for supporting the Second Amendment was, and I quote, so we can rise up against tyrannical government, end quote, we now find out that all along those fucking pigs wanted to be the tyrannical government. Who could have guessed?" Right? So, I'll leave the uncensored clip down in the description box as always, but let me show you what Jim Cornette, our good old boy, our pal, our Jimmy Bow pal friend right here, is reacting to. So, let me play the clip for you right here, and we'll have fuller context. So yeah, that looks pretty fucking horrible without context, right? That looks pretty fucking terrible without context. Kind of seems like it's something where if it was totally taken out of context, one may believe that Jim Cornette was blatantly pushing propaganda because, you know, he opposes the person who happens to be initially pushing out this agenda. Well, of course, it's Jim Cornette, and that's absolutely what it was. So this guy ended up combating this entire narrative, and he ended up posting the whole video in its entire context. But first, let me read you what he said initially. Again, links are down in the description box below. This guy said, on Friday in Evanston, Illinois, chaos ensued when a red car slammed into the back of a DHS, that's Department of Home Security, vehicle. The car had been telling the agents in their SUV to warn neighbors of their presence. After the car rear-ended a DHS, the driver of the car, passenger, and one other person were arrested. The Trump administration confirmed all 3 are U.S. citizens, which, by the way, pause for a second. That was a whole little rumor going around as well, that the person that you see in the video that's being arrested was an illegal citizen. And I'll show the rest of the context in regards to the video, but the people who are being arrested, there were rumors being said that ICE were actually involving themselves in arresting and abusing and taking out the illegal immigrants. So just for quick clarification, no, they were not illegal. They were U.S. citizens who were being arrested, who were tailgating a Department of Home Security federal agency car, which is a big no-no in common sense land. But continuing on, at one point during the arrest, a woman tried to help an arrested woman escape. An agent caught that attempt in the act and threw the helper to the side so he could shove the arrested woman back in the SUV. He then pulled his gun out to defend himself. Fuck, I said gun. I wonder if I'll get in trouble for that. Yeah, fuck it, too late now. I'm too lazy editing things. Continuing on. The man in the green shirt on the ground was handcuffed and arrested. During his arrest, he resisted and was subdued by agents on top of him. Eventually, the SUV sped off with the agents and the arrested Americans. The red car was towed away. The crowd had been completely out of control. They were not only screaming at the agents, but reportedly also spinning on them and trying to rush into the SUV from both sides to retrieve the arrested people. Pepper spray was used and multiple people were thrown to the ground. Afterwards, the mayor of Evanston and other anti-ICE activists spoke and completely misrepresented what happened in order to disparage DHS. By the way, I always have to show you what I'm saying as far as exemplifying the things that I'm saying. So really quick, this is the video that Jim Cornette ended up reposting completely out of context and obviously clip farming. And on top of that, clipping out the important part that, you know, obviously changes the entire trajectory of the argument being displayed here. So should we show the entire video from beginning to end? No. But I'll at least show you the very beginning and you can make your way towards the end of the actual person who's recording this. So play the clip in this foolish context right now.
Hey! 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 No! No! Oh,
Now we check out some of the responses. Hard to believe I once respected this piece of shit back in the day. Stick to wrestling. Nobody gives a shit about your political garbage. Base, but when showing up to Jim Cornette War, maybe get your grammar in check, all right? You don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight, buddy. This guy says, you talking about the woman who entered the ICE vehicle attempting to assist the illegals escape? By the way, they're not illegal. Twice, that woman? Again, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. This is why you people, this is why you lose arguments. There's no need to go further past the point of what you should actually be saying, which, this is law enforcement. They're enforcing the law. Don't, interfere with them enforcing the law. You don't have to go too deep, okay? Stay surface level, especially when you don't have all the information. But this is my favorite one right here. This is my best one right here, right? This guy says, didn't you once threaten to shoot Brock Lesnar? Yes, my fine sir. Jim Cornette, Jim Hypocrite Cornette absolutely did threaten to shoot Brock Lesnar. I actually played a clip of that video about 2 years ago when he went after Kane. Glenn Jacob. Get my conservatives mixed up sometimes. When he went after him for promoting the Second Amendment. I made a video on that. It's a long video. It's a glorious video. It's the greatest video of all time. Also, Kane's a libertarian. But never mind me spreading misinformation at first and correcting myself in real time before someone does it in the comment section. How about I play that clip for you guys so you can see Hypocrite Cornette in real time? Shall we do that as well? We shall.
telling Stacy all day, Sin all day, when I get you up here, I'm gonna squeeze it. I'm gonna fucking, and she's like, brother, don't do that. I'm telling you. So what happens when you know who won the pony? He goes, he gives her the press slam, and he fucking clamps down and squeezes with his right hand. And she's got an incredible tolerance for pain. She actually in California broke her ankle in both places, or in both bones, to the point where it turned sideways and still finished a fucking match. But she came in fucking crying and squealing, and when he got back, there was more crying and squealing and yelling, and they were cutting promo on each other, because she won't give a cripple crab a crutch, and she don't mind telling somebody what she thinks of him. That's why we're married. So she's cussing him, and he's cussing her, and I hear all this hoopla and caterwauling, and go back there, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she tells me he's been saying he was going to do it all day, and he fucking did it. I asked him not to, and to take care of my schnavitz, and he fucking didn't, and fuck this fucking guy. And she said, and he's saying, oh, I didn't do it, I didn't mean to do it, I was just kidding, blah, blah, blah. And in the process, he says, fuck you to her in front of me. And that's where I had to say, look, motherfucker, you need to know this now. Don't say fuck you to her in front of me, because I won't fight you, I will shoot you. Because here's what he didn't realize, because he'd been protected and pampered and made over for so long, nobody is going to fight Brock Lesnar. If he mouths off and runs his dick liquor about people or two people or whatever the fuck, nobody's going to fight him. They're just going to pull out a gun and fucking shoot him. Because would you fight Brock Lesnar?
No.
No, he's a fucking beast. He's a goddamn genetic fucking freak, and nobody's going to fight him. But if he said the wrong thing to the wrong person, they're going to fucking shoot him. And I don't care how tough he is, he ain't going to nip up after a fucking gunshot to the fucking head.
Yeah, Jim Cornette can't help himself. When it comes to politics, the dude is trash. I'm not saying he's trash when it comes to politics because we don't agree on anything politically. I said he's trash on politics. I'm saying he's trash on politics because Buddy always does this kind of shit here. Okay? He takes people out of context, right? He wildly misinterprets almost sometimes, actually a lot of sometimes on purpose because he disagrees with them when it comes to the actual proposition that's being proposed to him in order to agree or disagree with. So he has to misrepresent their arguments. He has to misrepresent their ideas. Unfortunately, too, it's because Jim Cornette listens to a lot of mainstream media, and whether you're talking about Fox, whether you're talking about CNN, or whether you're talking about any of the affiliates that fall underneath that branch, it doesn't matter. These people have an agenda in the end of the day. Even the politicians that you hate and love, they also have an agenda in the end of the day. And you can't just solely focus on what they're actually saying in real time in order to paint a picture out for you. And you have to most likely do your due diligence and look behind the words that they're saying and actually interpret in good faith what they're actually trying to say. Bring up questions. You can talk to experts of either side and meet in the middle and see where the contention actually lies and where the actual confirmation and conclusion at the same time actually lies. You can't listen to mainstream media and run with it like they're absolutely telling the truth. Now, obviously, most of us who live in, not the Stone Age, a la, post 2010, recognize this because we have this little gadget in our hands called a smartphone where we can kind of scroll down and look at things like the news and other alternative media websites or video sites or wherever the case may be. All this information is in the palm of our hands, and we have to do our best in order to understand the world that surrounds us. You cannot be a Jim Cornette, and you can't purposely look at information and say because you happen to like the side that you're on, and you liking the side that you're on is going to obviously bring up a bias. That means you get to ignore your bias and push said propaganda like Jim Cornette is doing currently at the moment because your side said that it has to be a thing. Because what you do, I know this is going to come to, I know it's going to blow your fucking mind what I'm going to say right now. That undermines your credibility as a person who's trying to espouse on points that your side agrees on. And I know, another explosion head moment, you hurt your talking point and the thing that you're trying to push to people who aren't, wait for it, partisan. Got the Macaulay Culkin face going on right now at home alone. Yeah, don't do that. Don't be a Jim Cornette. Be a good person. Don't be a piece of shit. I know, logic. Just do those things, whether you're right or left. Don't be a Jim Cornette. Don't be a piece of shit. All right, moving along with the next topic.
Hey, bro. I'll give you $20 if you scream in this mic for 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
All right. Are you sure?
Right. Yeah, I'll hold it for you.
Wait.
What?
I don't know, man.
You don't want to do it?
I don't know what's in the mic.
It's just a microphone. Look, boo!
All right, what you want me to do?
Just scream it for 10 seconds.
All right.
I'm here to be a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm dead ass serious. Trying to expand my horizons a little bit, right? Gotta get a little bit of that female addition amongst the sausages that lie within my community, okay? Look, woman, over there. May I touch her, dada? No, she is a statue. You cannot touch that woman, okay? That right there is a museum. That right there is why we do not touch the rare items. Yeah, we got to bring more women into the audience, boys. So with that being said, I want to talk about this subject. I want to spill some of the tea, if you don't mind. And let's talk about this whole Ludwig Kaiser and Tiffany Stratton and some random Mexican woman who apparently are having a bit of a dilemma. I mean, not really, but the fans are having a dilemma, and that's why we're going to talk about it. Here, check this video out. Actually, check both of these videos out. Ooh, look at that. He's such a bad boy. Ooh, giggity. Oh, wait, no. There was another video I was supposed to show, right? All right, pause on that for a second. Check this video out. All right, are we good? We caught up on the videos? All right, like I was saying. Ooh, good. Look at that. Ooh, he's so gorgeous. Look at that boy. Giggity. Ooh, right. Hey, yo, props to Ludwig, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Jellywig, whatever you want to call him. I don't care. Props to him, okay? Now, some of them may argue that, hey, man, Ludwig Kaiser, he's not Ludwig Kaiser, whatever. I'm saying Ludwig. It sounds better that way anyways. Ludwig Kaiser is downgrading. He went from a baddie to a bleh. And look, you may have that opinion. You're retarded. Obviously, that girl is hot. Whether or not she's hotter than Tiffany, that's up to you. Subjectives, opinions, perspectives. We all have them, okay? But you can't deny, regardless, she's hot. Whether she's hotter than Tiffany, that's up to you. She's still hot. And Buddy is still winning in the end of the day. But you know who doesn't think he's winning? You know some of the people that think he's actually losing? The psychopaths on Twitter. So let's see what they're saying right now at the moment. Hopefully nice things, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Did Ludwig Kaiser and Tiffany Stratton actually break up? Tiffy deleted every picture on her profile with Ludwig. I think it's actually over. Ludwig is flirting with the girl in 2 different videos. Actually, that's called having game, okay? And who knows? Maybe they might be having a menage a trois. You never know. Nah, Tiffany's MAGA. She probably is too conservative and too traditional for that kind of shit. Then again, she does wrestle in half-naked clothes. But then again, Michelle McCool did as well. Ludwig Kaiser speaks 3 languages, has charisma, wrestles very well, and on top of that, he stopped dating Tiffany Stratton only to start dating model Andrea Bizzardi shortly after. Alpha male. You should have said alpha male shit. That would have been even better. And how funny is it? I mean, he's taking over Chad Gable's gimmicks left and right. First, he wants to take over his American... Wait, no, that's not really Chad Gable, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But he actually did take over his alpha male gimmick. Remember that, guys? Remember that? What was the name of the group? Alpha something? Alpha Centauri? American Alpha. There we go. I was right. I was close. Somehow, someway. I made that work, alright? And what's this last message right here? It turns out that Ludwig Kaiser is more Latino than many people who were actually born in Latin America. The man's life changed and everything since he became El Grande Americano. Now that's pretty obvious, because I've been hearing people say things like, oh, Chad Gable's Americano, he's El Grande Americano. You're full of liars, you're full of shit, and your mom hates you. I said that twice, and I really mean it. Whereas, with Ludwig Kaiser, it's pretty fucking obvious he's El Grande Americano, and you're an absolute dickhead if you don't see that. Really. Wear some fucking glasses, okay? Maybe you should probably look at what you're actually seeing rather than trying to make believe what you're actually seeing, alright? Don't be Jim Cornette when it comes to politics. But, nevertheless, though, do I necessarily give a shit? No. Did I explain myself like 3 times, this being the 3rd time as to why I'm talking about this? Yeah, I'll say it again. Women. Okay, so do we understand why I'm talking about this? But I will say this, okay? One thing, one little quick extra before we move on. Tiffany, this means you're single. This means you're available. Okay? You can find me at my home address. You can DM me on Twitter. I'm not hard to find. I'm the guy with the Courage to Cowardly Dog profile pic, even though I'm 33 years old. I have lots to offer, okay? I work a minimum wage job. My dick gets hard sometimes when I see sexy women. It depends, okay? I also have the qualifications of a 16-year-old when it comes to brain power. And I can absolutely be black. Now, that might knock me out of the qualifications from the rumors that I heard in regards to you, but the last time I checked, once you go black, that means you're whack. No, fuck. No, once you go black, that means you're a thief. No, fuck. Look, I'm not making myself sound appealing right now, but Tiffany, DM me, call me, and I love you. And I promise one thing. I will not grape you. That is a promise that I'm willing to make, and that is a promise I'm willing to break. Continuing on with the next topic.
You decided to show the world who you really are, but I already knew.
Yeah.
Because Joe had just replaced him in the ops.
That's right.
This is one of those things where if you pay attention, you know the whole story, but if you don't, you're lost. I have to say this all the time because people just don't get it. The sickos don't get it. You sickos are right now part of a small elite group of really hardcore fans, okay? If you want this to succeed, it needs to be an open club. And an open club means that you need to explain to people not in the club what's going on. Some people are so violently against this idea. But you have to do this if you want to grow. If you want to stay a small club, a little niche wrestling promotion that's number 2, and you want to slowly get, less and less popular because, slowly, here's the thing with any business. You're always going to have a churn. You have to replace the fans that slowly go on to something else with new fans. If you don't do that, you're going to have this small club that gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And, people joke, like, who was it that said, if TNA gets, the CW, they'll immediately be the number 2 or whatever. They ain't going to be the number 2. They'll be far and away still number 3. But, like, you're not guaranteed being number 2 forever. You've got to continue to grow. Even you may not ever be number 1, but to stay number 2, you also have to continue to grow. So anyway, the stuff like this, which is, okay, you get it if you're like a sicko, hardcore, watch everything, that's fine for this small group, but you've got to fill people in. You've got to get new fans. Don't tell me it's like a television show, because any other normal show you can go back and binge watch from season 1. No one's going back to, you're not going to start deciding you like AEW and decide you're going to go back and binge watch from 2019. It's not going to happen. Fill people in with all of your stories.
Oh, look at that. Logic. It's like I've been saying that for nearly 7 years now. Oh, wait. Because I've been saying that for nearly 7 years now. In regards to AEW in particular. Because that's just common fucking sense. See, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the hell he's even talking about in regards to this story. That's how out of the loop I am right now. See, I actively do follow AEW and WWE, even when I'm not intentionally straight up watching them. I got into an argument a couple of weeks ago with this dunderfuck who was like, you don't even keep up with SmackDown, so therefore you don't have to have an opinion on the thing that I like. And completely missing the point that you can still follow a show without watching the show. You know, that's what happens when, you have a job and you have a life outside of your house and you don't stick your dick in the crustiest stock that you find. You actually have to do things and have responsibilities outside of watching wrestling 24/7, right? Well, when I argued with this guy and I was trying to let him know that, hey, I don't really watch the product like that in regards to intently watching this specifically with my eyes glued to the television. No, I keep up with it. You know, I watch it sometimes, but majority of the time, YouTube exists, my headphones exist, my eyes also exist, and I look up and down social media on wrestling websites. You can do those kind of things, and you know the worst part about it, you still have a hard time understanding and keeping up with the shit that you're reading and seeing and hearing in real time. Isn't that crazy when it comes to professional wrestling, when things are so convoluted and it makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, and the person who happens to be in that current position at that moment in time, doesn't really fit the mold of what actually is happening traditionally in professional wrestling from a continuous standpoint, going eons and eons back, and then, the end result is guys probably not wanting to watch your shitty programming. I know it's almost as if you're breaking tradition, and people don't like it when you bring tradition and bring shittiness to the table. But look, if you don't believe me, let's look at some more of the metrics, just to coincide my opinion, if you don't mind. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Collision, look at this. According to Programming Insider, AEW Collision averaged 228,000 viewers on TNT, down from the 400,000 viewers recorded on October 15, 2025. And the key 18 to 49 demographic, the show earned a 0.04 rating, down from the 0.11 rating the week prior. Now you may be saying to yourself, Devontae, who gives a fuck? It's Collision. Who the fuck cares about Collision? That's fine. It's okay, because FIFO ended up posting this back on Halloween, right? They said AEW Dynamite draws 459,000 viewers. We've now reached the point, boys, where the consistent number is now in the 400,000. Now, mind ya, alarm bells were ringing when they hit 502,000 about a year and a half ago. Remember when I made a video? You remember, I made a video on that. Go back in the archives, look that video up. Don't be a bitch. But now we are now continuously starting to pull in the 400,000s. Mind you, they were averaging, for the most part, about 2 years ago, in the upper 800,000s to the lower 900,000s. Now, it's been about nearly 3 years since they hit 1 million, but they've been averaging that number that I just pointed out for about a year or so, right? About 2 years ago, and now they're half that number as far as averaging on a consistent basis. Now, this is not me blowing smoke up WWE's ass. They're hitting record lows as well. But here's the problem, okay? Here's the fucking problem with that. Their WWE, their core base, their core base is bigger than your overall wide viewership number that you're trying to get. They can probably hold at around 900,000 most likely. And don't get it twisted. That is fucking terrible. And to be honest with you, I can foresee WWE's core audience going down no differently than AEW. The only problem is we don't know where AEW's core actually lies at. I can tell you with WWE, if for nothing else, they can always grow by doing some weird random shit that might most likely pop a lot of people and get people back into the good graces. AEW does not have that luxury. And you try to explain this and you try to get into the mind of the sicko, because we need AEW around, because even though you may say to yourself, and you're correct, that WWE has to walk and AEW still has to run to catch up with them, you still want WWE, if for nothing else, looking over their shoulder. You don't want them completely just walking straight and not having anybody walking behind them, or at least chasing them, or in AEW's case with a Ferrari while WWE is still walking. You still want them to know that there's somebody on their radar so they don't get complacent even more than what they are right now. Do you understand, sickos? Do you understand, WWE tarts? We need both wrestling companies to coincide and be good. when you're constantly playing a tribalistic game by suggesting that what you're watching needs to be vetted. You need to understand the secrets of AEW. I need you to go pick up a thesaurus over there in the library on 12th Street, about 20 miles away from your house. Look up the information in regards to AEW, and I want you to read on every little nook and cranny in order to understand this mid-card angle that's happening right now on Collision. You lose people. Do you get it? Do you understand it? I'm saying this out of the goodness of my heart that I want them to thrive. I want them to present legitimate stars. I don't want them to be PWG on television. We already have PWG off television. Can we not get it on television as well? Do you understand? You obviously don't understand. So that's fine. It's okay. Because when they inevitably start pulling out their cell phones in order to record an average episode of Dynamite, and then they have to upload it on Twitch, then you'll see in real time why your way of looking at wrestling is problematic, and my way of looking at wrestling probably problematic as well. But at least I care. You just fake care.
Yeah, it's all storyline, but like, I'm sick of the storyline that Ava is so fucking incompetent. Like, she allowed the show in storyline to be ruined by these two fucking guys. She didn't do anything about it, didn't fine them, suspend them, kick them out of the building. She just let them fucking ruin the fucking show. And then at the end, she just goes, we gotta solve this problem. Trick, you're getting a rematch for the title, Last Man Standing, in 2 weeks at whatever fucking show. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They ruined your goddamn show, and your ruling is that this guy is getting a championship match?
You're rewarding him.
You're rewarding this fucking guy. I was just like, this show sucks. And you know, the funny thing is, I'll give Ava one thing. She is the most consistent character in all of wrestling. Bar none. The most consistent character. Consistently fucking terrible, but like, her gimmick is a lazy Gen Z out there nepo hire who doesn't want to fucking ever work. Everybody else has to do all the work, and she's gonna take credit for it.
This man's on fire. He is a mad lad. He is on fire. He cannot be stopped. Can't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Bryan Alverez, I hate your guts, bro. And I think you and Dave Meltzer fuck each other without condoms. But I gotta say, bro, your takes as of this video have been on point. They have been absolutely on point. And I can't sit here and lie, man. I can't sit here and lie. You are now partially respected by me. And by partially, I mean you gave me half chub. You want me to go full chub? You gotta keep it up with the rhetoric, my boy. You gotta keep it up with the rhetoric. Now, obviously, what he said was completely on point. And obviously, now I say obviously because I'm talking to actual fucking humans and not fucking robots on Twitter. If you heard what he was saying, clearly he was criticizing Ava's obvious lack of character. He didn't say anything about her skills in regards to portraying that character. He talked about her lack of character, as in her gimmick fucking sucks, as in the character that you're seeing on TV that WWE and most wrestlers typically tell you to focus on is what he focused on, and he ripped that apart. So tell me why fans and Ava herself, which I guess you can still say fans, are responding like this. Look at this one guy right here. What's going on, people? Wrestling is scripted. He said, and I quote, "Y'all are awful to a young woman doing what she's told. Disgusting." Yeah, that's the point. They're not going after the young woman. They're going after the character that the young woman is playing. Do you understand how logic works within professional wrestling? Oh, this guy whose name is Sussy Balls. Whew, all right. He said, "I don't get why Ava gets so much hate from these guys when Tony practically is the same guy. The double standard is crazy." Yeah. I know. You know how I know? Because to be fair and to be consistent, he went after Tony, Bryan, that is, went after Tony as well. Creatively, he went after him because I remember, because I'm older than 2 years old, when he absolutely trashed the bullshit neck brace spot. He trashed the neck brace stuff and clowned it when Tony was on ESPN or whatever sports show, and he clowned it also and clowned the selling when he initially got attacked by Jungle Boy and the Young Fucks. You remember that? Oh, you don't remember that? Oh, you do remember that? You're gonna just purposely pretend as if you don't remember that. See, I don't like Bryan Alverez, but I also don't like being a fucking liar. And apparently, you hate Bryan Alverez, but you also love being a fucking liar. Those two things can go together. You don't believe me? Here, these are one of the... I actually showed this clip in an older video about a year and a half ago. I'll play it here just to give you a better understanding as to how this guy is just sitting there blatantly fucking lying on people. Here, check this out real quick.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week. And when I heard that, I was like, what? He didn't really say that. But if you watch the shows, that's what happened.
Now, obviously, that's just a little small example, but hey, that's a lot more journalism than I've seen most people do who actually talk about these topics. But let's get back to what we really want to discuss, which was Ava's response, because Ava, she got a little bit angry. She got angry. So after this was posted, right, Ava said, man, I remember my first day on Earth too. I don't even know what that means. Someone in the comment section can tell me what that means. I guess maybe she's implying that not everybody knows everything so early when they're green. I don't know if she's, pointing out the fact that she's a rookie. I'm not sure. But again, Bryan is talking about her character, not her as a person or her skill level. Maybe they did. Maybe I'm unaware of them talking about it in the past. But from what I can tell with this video, what they're saying here, and they didn't say anything bad about her, because they didn't. You're insane. This person ended up reposting this. He said, because this guy's shimping over Ava. He said the obsession these grown men have with overanalyzing everything, because that's their job. Ava does has been very weird. It's not weird. Stop calling things that aren't weird. That's very weird. A lot of their cheapish, says the guy who's fawning over Ava regarding this, because he has to follow what they're doing, or at least go look up what they're doing to be this concerned over a person he doesn't know, which again is sheepish behavior. He says a lot of their cheapish viewers eat it up to the point where they're taking digs at her beyond what she does on TV. Yeah, those are assholes. And guess what? Bryan Alverez is still right. You can't try to coincide both things and say this one bad thing now completely invalidates this thing that you're trying to, deflect from not happening. And he reposted that, and he said he's had it out for you for months. For months is what he says, right? Of which obviously Ava, she took wind of, and she said, part 7,935? How embarrassing. I'm so glad I live rent-free in their minds. I mean, they live rent-free in your mind. They don't have nearly 8,000 episodes uploaded. It's pretty obvious that they're exaggerating in the title. But apparently they're not living rent-free in your head, because apparently you absolutely know that title is obviously exaggerated, and you're totally not going to take it out of context because they said negative things about your character on television. Not about you, but your character on television. Maybe it was the Nepo baby line that made you, get ass hurt. But I'm pretty sure the Nepo baby line was also referencing the fact that you were able to just go directly into the general manager position as a character. Charlotte Flair is technically a Nepo baby. Don't see a lot of people coming after her, at least in good faith. I don't know. Maybe some people do. Some people like her though. And this person said, and I quote, check this out. Boo! Throwing tomatoes. Oh my god, tomatoes. Fruit flying everywhere. Yes, tomatoes is a fruit, dumb fucks. And Ava said, heart. It's breaking. I'm gonna respond to every comment. And in this post right here, I'm gonna respond to every comment, but they're not living rent-free in my head. I'm definitely not The Rock's daughter, and I'm very insecure about the fact that I'm absolutely a fucking Nepo baby. This is Devontae absolutely talking about you out of character because you're a piece of shit after the Charlie Kirk stuff, so I'm gonna be a piece of shit right back to you. Yeah, Ava, look, here's the thing, brother. You are indeed The Rock's daughter. You are indeed, kind of filling in the position in WWE that was pretty much earmarked from you since The Rock actually showed back up in WWE for this final round as far as the final boss. Stop hiding from it. Embrace it. Get better at your skill level. That's me talking, not Bryan Alverez talking. Therefore, you're not super insecure about who you are to the point where you have to take people out of context when they're referencing your character when, they're not talking about your skill level, but you want to say that they're talking about your skill level because, again, you're that highly insecure to believe that they're talking about your skill level because, again, that's all you're focusing on when you hear words coming out of people's mouths when they're actually having an opinion about your sorry ass. Oh, that was a mouthful. Just like, Ava, when it comes to, pulling down her pants and being able to go around the locker rooms and making sure people carry her. Oh, man. All right, enough digging at Ava's lack of skills. With that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you felt about today's video. Folks, how did you feel about Ava apparently taking a lot of offense to Bryan Alverez essentially saying she's the shits. Her character, folks, gotta keep it in context, unlike Ava. How do you feel about AEW and apparently Bryan Alverez also going after the sickos? Oh no, the sickos, their feelings are hurt. Oh god, no. It's a day that ends with day. I said that joke earlier. How do you feel about Ludwig, Kaiser, and Tiffany Stratton most likely no longer being the thing? Otherwise, that dude is in trouble. That's some tea for your monkey ass. And how do you feel about Jim Cornette going full Jim Cornette? He can't stop being Jim Cornette. That's the best kind of Jim Cornette in the world, is Jim Cornette being Jim Cornette. Thoughts down in the comment section below. Yes, I'll keep continuing posting. I got nothing else to live for anyways when it comes to actually making videos, YouTube. Don't take me out of context also. Don't put no hotline above my fucking video or try to take it down or something. I have a lot to live for. I have nothing to, let me not repeat myself. These goddamn mods and AI bots are fucking retarded. But with that being said, folks, as always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Schmark, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Oh, were you waiting for me to say? Oh, sorry about that. A deuces and a P. Eyes.